He worked for Jacob.
He worked for Jacob.
And Jacob was a cheater.
And Jacob was a cheater.
He worked for Peter.
He worked for Peter.
And he had a temper.
And he had a temper.
He worked for David.
He worked for David.
And he had an affair.
And he had an affair.
He worked for Noah.
He worked for Noah.
And he got drunk.
And he got drunk.
He worked for Jonah.
He worked for Jonah.
And he ran.
And he ran.
He worked for Paul.
He worked for Paul.
And he was a murderer.
And he was a murderer.
He worked for Gideon.
He worked for Gideon.
And he was insecure.
And he was insecure.
He worked for Miriam.
He worked for Miriam.
And she was a gossiper.
And she was a gossiper.
He worked for Martha.
He worked for Martha.
And she was a warrior.
And she was a warrior.
He worked for Thomas.
He worked for Thomas.
And he was a doubter.
And he was a doubter.
He worked for Sarah.
He worked for Sarah.
And she was impatient.
And she was impatient.
Like some of y'all.
Like some of y'all.
He worked for Elijah.
For Elijah.
And he was depressed.
And he was depressed.
And he worked for Moses.
And he worked for Moses.
And he stuttered.
And he stuttered.
And he worked for Zacchaeus.
He worked for Zacchaeus.
And he was short.
And he was short.
He worked for Abraham.
He worked for Abraham.
And he was old.
And he was old.
He worked for Lazarus.
He worked for Lazarus.
And he was dead.
And he was dead.
God is waiting on you.
Waiting on you.
God. He want to work a miracle.
He want to work a miracle.
He want to fix your
He want to fix your problem.
He want to heal your
He want to heal your body.
He want to make your way.
He want to make your way.
He want to give you some
He want to give you some money.
He want to open some doors.
He want to open some doors.
Stand! Let God do it.
Let God do it. Give him some praise. Give him some praise.